And good morning the internet, and good morning to my subscriber. You're looking a bit better today actually, yeah, looking a bit perky. So that was a nice couple of days. I had a day of doing video editing, a day of doing nothing, and a day of just doing a little bit of cultural stuff. And at £5 a night, you can't beat that, can you really? And I was only going to do a night, and then I thought, well, at £5 a night, I can just, I don't have to chill out. Some days I like to do nothing, you know, like a little break, and you just do little odd jobs and things like that. So what have we been doing while I've been here? Well, yesterday I came to see that. And it's called the Mary Cemetery, and as far as I can tell, the church was built in the 1930s, and in the graveyard before they built that, what they used to like to do was make the tombstones, and they used to put effigies of the people who died to tell a story about the people. So when they built the church, because they like colour in this town, they decided to make it more colourful, and why not? I think it's absolutely beautiful, absolutely stunning. Have you seen that roof? All the tiles are made of different colours, and there you can see all the gravestones, and on the stories it tells you about the people, the effigy about the people. Sometimes it tells you about how they died as well. There was a picture, and I saw one picture, and there was a woman. She was in front of a car with her arms and her legs in the air, so obviously she must have got knocked down. So this is there's a second church here as well, with a traditional one made out of wood, and I had a look in there as well, and it is really amazing. Honestly, the artworks in these churches, in the Mary Cemetery, you go in there and every wall is festooned with artwork, pictures, stories from the Bible, pictures of the clergy that had been there, and in the wooden one as well, that was quite similar, but just lots of paintings and lots of effigies in frames. Absolutely beautiful. And I also just went down there to a monastery, an absolutely huge church, well, a huge spire. It's the third tallest spire in Romania. Unfortunately, you couldn't go in the church because it's still a working monastery, and also the inside is very decorative. There's a lot of gold in there as well, apparently. I was looking at some of the pictures and it looks absolutely amazing. On that site there was a church there from something like 1016, and I think there was it was there until about the 1500s, and then they built that in the 1930s using traditional skill. In fact, no, sorry, they built it at the end of the 1990s using traditional skills, and it's on a stone base. There's like a chapel underneath made out of brick and stone, and then on top of that they built the big wooden church, but they built it using traditional skills, how it would an original church would have been. So, and then next to that there's a massive big building. It's like a skiing lodge. It's huge, and that's where all the monks live. And just next to that was a smaller church with a smaller spire, and that it had no walls on it. It was open air, so I must admit they use that for summer services or daytime services. I do not know. But it was very peaceful and very tranquil around there. Very peaceful and tranquil, and it was beautiful. So, what's the recipe today, Jim? Well, today I am heading slightly west, and then I'm heading north. I'm going to go through Hungary, go through Slovakia, and then I'm going to head for Poland. Why don't I stay in Hungary and Slovakia? Well, maybe next year, maybe next year. The thing is, the bike is due for a service. Due for a service. I'm 2,000 miles past its service. I tried to organise a service when I was in Turkey, but I was being messed around. And then I tried to organise another one in Bulgaria, and again they won't give me a price. And I tried to organise another one in Romania, and again they kept messing me around. So, oh well, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. No, give me a date and give me a price and we'll sort it out. So anyway, I emailed ahead and I'm having the, hopefully, I'm just waiting for a confirmation tomorrow, and hopefully I'm getting my bike serviced on Tuesday in Krakow. And if they start being silly, then I'll just book it in for a service in Warsaw. You know, when I had the bike in for a service in, where was it now? Italy, no problem. I emailed them the day before, bang, straight back within an hour. Yeah, no problem, bring it in tomorrow and we'll sort it out. Fantastic. And yet in Turkey, Bulgaria and Romania, it's like you get this ping pong and you ask them for an approximate price, and then they say, oh well, we don't know. It's just 12,000, it's a service, it's an 8,000 mile service. You know, why can't you give me a quote on that? You know, so anyway, but you think people would be sort of happy to take the business, you know, and all of a sudden they try to make things difficult for you. So I'm heading slightly west first, then I'm heading north, through Hungary, through Slovenia, into Poland. And I'm going to Krakow for two reasons. Firstly, because to get the bike serviced, but also there's a lot of history there as well, and there's a lot of old buildings that I'm interested in. So it should be interesting. But yeah, the bike's doing pretty well, considering I'm overdue a service. I was having a listen to it yesterday and they're starting to sound a bit rattly, but she starts fine, you know. First press of the button and she starts up. So the weather is fine again. Oh, it's another sunny day. It's a lousy job, but someone's got to do it. What is it now? It's 19 degrees. When I was on the campsite it was 17.5 degrees. Everything was wet this morning with dew and moisture. So and I'd left my sheepskin out, so it was wet through, but never mind. So I've got a wet bum at the moment, but I'm sure that will soon dry off. Right, I'm going to put some music on and I'll speak to you soon. Goodbye. I'm now out of Romania and I'm into Hungary. That was the old border post. And I'm kicking myself now because I had 10 RON left, which I think is about £1. And I should have stopped. There was a garage with a supermarket just before the border there. I should have stopped and bought a packet of chewing gum or a drink or something like that. But hello Hungary, how are you? Look at all those sunflowers, beautiful. So yeah, I'm heading north now in Hungary. Next stop Slovakia, and then Poland. Past a sign and I've left Hungary and now I'm in Slovakia. Hungary is mostly flat. Well, the bit of Hungary that I went through was flat. Lots of forests, lots of agriculture, and now it seems that the mountains are starting. Looks like there's a fort up ahead as well. But yeah, the weather's changed a bit. Went through a little bit of rain. There's some rain over there. You can see it coming down. Thankfully, hopefully I'm going to no, I'm not. I think I'm going to hit the rain in a little while. Well, hello Slovakia. That was easy enough so far. Well, that's a bit of a ruin, isn't it? Not much left of that. Lots of Polish bikers I passed for earlier on. Yeah, that's an old fort, look at that. That really is old. And I'm now out of Slovakia and I'm into Poland. Hello Poland. Not been here for what, 2 years? Yeah, 2 years. Last time it was in the north and on the western side. And this time I'm entering roughly in the centre at the bottom. And then I'm going to head east and north, I think. Yeah. Hello Poland.